Hello and welcome to my new video. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Lex, and today we are going to be looking at 15 different ideas for decorating around the campsite. I don't think I've done a video like this in the past. I've covered, I think, every other building in the game, so I was like, you know what? It's time, and we have quite the selection today. Before we get started, I did want to say thank you to all of my members. I really appreciate all of you for supporting the channel. It means the world to me. If you are not a member and you would like to become one, you can check out the perks by going to the link in the description. Without further ado, let's get started with today's ideas. This first one was so cool because the only way to access the campsite is to use this little pipe right here by Able Sisters. And then it puts you out right here at this adorable campsite area. The terraforming is amazing. All of the decor looks so good. I was just, I don't know, I was so enchanted by this, like, clearing where there's just a little campsite surrounded by trees, cliffs, so much color. It was just a very vivid and beautiful space to place the campsite. Definitely somewhere that you'd convince a villager to move in. I mean, how beautiful is this? I also love all of the, like, tropical vibes I'm getting. Just beautiful. Speaking of tropical vibes, I thought this next island also had them in the most beautiful way. It was like one big tropical meadow almost. But I followed the signs. There were two campsite signs. The first one at the beginning of this island, and then that one. I thought that this was so well structured. Look how tiny this little outcropping of land is. The campsite is like almost on top of a mountain of cliff because this is just such a small space. It can barely fit the campsite, but it looks amazing. I thought it was just so cute. Very tiny, so that's helpful if you don't have much space on your island. You could do something like this by lifting the campsite up. Doesn't take that much area, that much land at all, and the lead up was just astonishing. Loved this. I wanted to show another space that doesn't really take up that much land area for the campsite, but represents the versatility of this building. This island, the campsite, is like this beach area. Right here is the campsite itself. Very small area and very gorgeous, and I just loved how it ties into the beach right here. This island had an eastern river mouth, and so that is where the campsite is placed, in this top right corner. I thought it was a clever way to take up this land space. This next island did such a brilliant job with the bridges. The terraforming here is so calm, it feels very natural. The cliffs don't have any crazy terraforming, but the waterscaping is especially so precise, and it does feel just so natural, like you would literally go camping here. It's like a nature trail. But I loved the lead up again here with this little courtyard and then the bridges. I mean, how pretty is that view? The way you just have all of the flowers around. Even on the other side of this bridge, there were flowers everywhere. And I don't know, it did just really feel like a campsite space. Also love the seasonal details. I also wanted to show off this island where it had incredible terraforming. I mean, look at this. We have a bridge lead up straight to the campsite, surrounded by water. It's like its own tiny island, and I thought it was so beautifully decorated. All of the colorful flowers around that villager house in the back left, I thought was so cute here. And once again, we have kind of a tropical energy. I don't know if when I was looking at submissions, I was feeling very summery or what, but these islands were just really speaking to me. I really like how unique this is. I've never seen a campsite placed this way, and I thought that the creator just really pulled this off. Everything here was absolutely stunning. What I loved about this next island is how it's really just cozied up back here. You have to go through that little like tunnel almost of terraforming to get here, and once again I think it's an example of what really feels like a campsite. This feels like a little campsite area that's tucked away in the mountains. I love the fact that there is a second resident representative, so there's like a yellow tent here as well, and I thought the water terraforming was really well done. It just felt like a beautiful forest, I guess. where you could just come and hang out, have a little weekend away. I also thought the furniture was really great, very campsite-y, so 12 out of 10. Another very unique campsite placement that I appreciated was this one on the very edge of the beach. There is mostly city on this island, so this campsite represented the rare corner that was a reprieve from the hustle and bustle of the city aesthetic that's going on everywhere else. I thought it was so well done, the way it's just like fenced off here. You've got just this tiny area of land, and yet it still feels so distant, feels like a different world on this island. And I also really appreciated the way the beach was used here with the mini campsites and just an area to lounge. Very stunning. Coincidentally, we have back-to-back beach campsites, although this one is actually literally on the beach. I personally love it when creators place the campsite directly on the beach. That's what I did on Antilia, and I feel like it really matches the vibe. The campsite just looks so good here. I love the scenery. The campsite cookware here is so precious, and I just loved how restful it felt. I like that there's a bonfire as well, and then just to the right over here we have a mini campsite too. Love how many of these areas use the kids' tent. Clearly, I'm a sucker for unique lead-ups, and this island did not disappoint. Look at this like curvy little land bridge that leads to the campsite, and again, we've got another resident representative. All of the details here were amazing, lots of kids' tents, and my favorite was this porta potty in the very back. We've got furniture that just makes sense if you're out camping, and I love how this feels like a layered campsite. Like here we've got the actual campsite, but when you walk forward there are more tents on the cliffs, and that's so pretty. This island mostly makes me jealous because this is the Dream Peninsula. Look at all this space. But I love that the campsite was incorporated here. What a brilliant use of the space here. There's also a banquet, so it kind of felt like a wedding getaway almost. Like maybe this campsite is where the two married individuals are honeymooning, you know? Also just behind, once again, some kids' tents, but I especially loved the way that these kind of contrasted each other. Brown flooring with white tent, white flooring with brown tent. That was really clever. The more I visited these islands, I realized that placing the campsite on or near the beach is a very popular decision. I wanted to showcase this island because look how gorgeous this little outcropping is for the campsite. This is such a simple build with the use of weeds and some flowers and trees. It's all so natural, and it just is so elegantly beautiful. I really loved that the creator used the yellow mushroom lamps around because I've never seen those, and it literally made me want to make a build just based off of those. I know you're shocked to see me on the beach again, but I wanted to point out this pier because I thought it was really cute and it was near the campsite. So here we are at the campsite. I adored the terraforming here. Once again, it felt so natural to the land around it, and those balloons, genius. I mean, how amazing is this view? I also love the movement we get from the campfire being just beside the tent. I am a big fan of items that introduce some sort of movement, and in addition to the waterfalls, I just thought that it created a very dynamic area. Also loving the simplicity of the ground designs. Doesn't feel cluttered, it's very open, and the color coordination is lovely. Again, here we see some really creative terraforming factoring into the campsite zone. Look at these bridges. I thought that they created such a lovely view for the campsite. It's up there in the top right, and to get to it, you actually have to climb this incline and then jump across the cliffs. I love things like that where you get to interact with the land, with the terraforming. Absolutely adore that. And again, a small area for the campsite itself, and yet it feels so full and so complete. Across the bridge here was some villager houses, and I was like, wow, what a cute way to connect the campsite to the rest of the island. It just felt so lovely. Again, so natural. It just really does exude campy vibes, and I loved that. I wanted to show off another pretty simple way to incorporate your campsite with fairly minimal terraforming, but I'm loving these waterfalls to the left. I mean, how precious is that with the statue in the center, creating just a gorgeous scene. Loved that so much. But I thought this was a great example of how you can use many little sections of terraforming to really layer the space. Last but definitely not least, this is such an innovative way to use the campsite. It's not really a campsite here, but a stage for dancing, and look at the framing for this. We're at a luau on this tropical themed island, very Hawaiian themed, and I just thought that this was so stunning, so gorgeous, and so unique. I mean, look at how beautiful all of this is. The custom designs and everything were so perfectly placed, and I especially love the use of the, I can't even remember what this is called, the float, I think. Look how cool it is! I've never seen it actually used on an island unless I just forgot. That's actually all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope you're feeling inspired to work on your own campsite, or maybe even restart your island. I don't know. Not that I'm encouraging you to do it. Anyway, thank you for your patience. I know that this video was supposed to be up yesterday, but I actually had my official graduation ceremony from university this weekend. So even though I graduated a year and a half ago, now I can say that I really graduated. Without further ado, here's Peaches to tell you all goodbye for now.
I love you guys so much, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. And Lexi's graduation was so fun, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you tell her congrats. Bye!